But let's start with a message that we had. For the first time, we're using WhatsApp now, and Hamza said it's clear we need a modern manager who can compete stylistically with the likes of Chelsea, City and Liverpool. If we bring in an interim manager, it's under the premise that someone else is coming in during the summer. Jaisal added to that and said, as bad as it has been in the past few months, I'd rather stay patient than pay big for another manager, give Carrick some time and see where things go. Zaid says Pochettino should be given the job. Carrick doesn't have the experience needed to coach these players. We'd all happily take Valverde till the end of the season too, then appoint either Ten Hag or Pochettino. And Jordan says, it's funny, I'm getting carried away so quickly, but Carrick until Ten Hag, I'm open to that. Appeals to me more than Pochettino right now. And another one, Yesu said, bring Ten Hag and Ronaldo will win the Champions League for Manchester United. That one was on Twitter. Thanks to everyone for WhatsApping us this evening. Lots of mentions of Ten Hag. Lots of people talking about interim managers. It almost feels like with the number of names that we've had, no one really knows which way this is going to go. Have you guys got an idea of where you'd like it to go?
Listen, we spoke on the show before, and I think there's key elements that need to be brought into the club. Is somebody that can coach players, improve players. We've seen so many players come through the building. How many of them players have actually improved since coming here? And you need someone who's going to bring some sort of fear factor within that dressing room, because I think we both played for managers at different times who, when you came off that pitch, if you didn't perform, you were walking into that change room almost with your head start going between your shoulders.
I remember my first game for Manchester United. We played City away. We're losing 1-0 somehow. And Rio, so we're kind of going to the benches that way, the tunnel.
Half-time.
Half-time. Rio sprints by me. And he goes, Owen, hurry up, hurry up. And I was thinking, what do you mean hurry up? It's half-time, just getting a breather. He went, the gaffer's going to go crazy. Get in the dressing room quick. But what it told me about Rio, who was 28 years old at the time, he had ultimate respect for the gaffer, that he could maybe go mad. And that was, I think that's your point, isn't it? That he had the dressing room under control just by the fact, he could get upset. And I think that's what you mean, that when you saw the Watford performance, you think, how is that possible? We would have never played that for Sir Alex, would we?
No, it's like, it's not about not playing well. It's not about missing the target with a shot. It's not about misplacing a pass, misplacing a touch or anything like that. It's little things like the reaction when the ball turns over. Your team loses possession and you might look like you haven't put the effort in for some reason or other, or you haven't really won your duels, the physical battles you've had with your opponent. They're the little things where you think, because a manager will suffer someone having a bad touch or misplacing a pass or a shot, but he will not suffer a lack of effort. If there's a lack of effort, a lack of intensity, a lack of desire, you will be hit between the eyes with verbals by the manager, and that whole change room will have to sit up and go out next half and actually show the manager, actually, no, that's not us. This is us. And they're the type of things that didn't happen. There was not that fear, it didn't seem, and you never really saw that reaction enough. And then that's where my concerns laid a lot of the time with this Man United team, this season especially, after the great transfer window we seemed to have with the players that had come in. And that was the concerning thing for me.
But the thing is, the most important thing in this is work, isn't it? You look at Tuchel's teams. He always talks about work, he talks about intensity, he talks about effort. You look at Pep, they play the most beautiful football. It's all about work. First,
with and without the ball.
With and without the ball. And Klopp's the same. So why this group of United players, which I think they've probably had the best they've had in probably a decade, collected together, but they're not working together in and out of possession. So the question is, who's going to be the guy?
Which of those? I mean, Mauricio Pochettino, 39% of the vote. This will be mainly from United fans, I'm imagining. Is he the man that comes in and makes that psychological change?
Yeah, I think he commands respect. I think he demands work from the players, but obviously all these names they're great names.
They bring something, all of them.
They do, and look, Brendan's got great experience in leagues. Zidane, the language barrier, that's got to be a thing. Ten Hag, he's done unbelievable with Ajax, but they're the best team in Holland. Is he going to be able to dominate the ball over here in the Premier League, like he does in Holland? So I think one name that's not on there, which I'd like to see, is Luis Enrique. Yeah. I think, if you manage a big football club like Barcelona and you won the treble there, and then you can go and take a pretty average team to a semi-final in Spain, I think that's the type of guy, and he's only managing a national team. I think he could come in and do the job now, and I think he would transform Manchester United into a good team, into a great team.
Here's a WhatsApp from Ibi. How would you answer that?
Who they want as a permanent manager? I don't know. I don't think it's an obvious answer. I don't think it's an easy answer. I think there's a process. I think there's a process of elimination. The people that run the club have got to go through that process. They've got to speak and sound out who's interested first and foremost. There's got to be a genuine interest from the person as well. You can't just pick names out of the hat and then, but also they don't want the job or they're not ready. Zinedine Zidane's a great example. People are shouting for him to come, and rightly so, but with his CV at Real Madrid. But the rumours are coming out of his camp that he doesn't want to take a job mid-season and doesn't want to come to England. So that rules him out. So, and these other guys we're talking about, they're all in jobs. I mean, it's not easy. It's not as easy as just saying we want that manager now. And that's why Man United have come out and spoken about the interim, because I think they've sounded out the manager and they're going to have to wait until the summer to get who they want.
Jordan wants them to go for Erik ten Hag, which seems popular, particularly on WhatsApp this evening. An interesting one here. Open to Van der Sar coming back as director of football at the end of the season too. But then actually it's interesting because you've got other Manchester United fans and they're saying, can we get away from this era of trying to just recreate the magic under Sir Alex Ferguson by bringing back all of these players that played under Sir Alex? Like, the world's moved on, football's moved on. Manchester United need to stop almost harking back to that golden period.
Yeah, ish, but Ed has experience running a football club.
Yeah.
Ed's not doing the football side, by the way. That's Mark Overmars. Ten Hag's doing the coaching. Ed was doing a lot of the commercial side, wasn't he, Reed? So
He shadowed.
I think there's this misconception that, you know, he's kind of doing that whole football side. But I think what Manchester United desperately need is football people within the football club at the top of the tree. So who's hiring the manager of Manchester United? Who is that person? Because the people right now that are doing that, they don't really have that football expertise that City have at their club, which I think is incredibly important. That's why when they make decisions, they don't really miss. And I think that's what United are lacking, and that's what they have to get. So to get more people like Ed in a football club, I think wouldn't be a bad thing.
The key thing, though, this evening, they have gone through, and we have to remember that. You know, they're through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. Does that have an impact on who comes in and who does the interim job if they're through? I mean, you almost feel like maybe if they were knocked out of the Champions League and the Premier League was out of reach, they could maybe go with a temporary Michael Carrick solution or something. But when there's a chance to win the Champions League or to go a long way in this competition, does it change who you go for?
I don't think, in my mind, I don't think anything that Michael Carrick does in this little period of time, maybe it would be 1 game or 3 games, or maybe 1 or 2 more than that, I don't think it changes their stance. I think they're going to go for interim manager. I think they're going to go for experience, and they're going to go for somebody that they feel that knows what they're doing and has seen out managing teams in their history and past. So it's difficult for Michael and the team behind him, but I think they're just here, just holding fort for a little bit of time to get somebody in.